In 1307, Jacques de Molay, the leader of the Knights Templar, was one of the most powerful men in Europe. The Templars were beloved, possessing vast tracts of land and a huge amount of money. But just 7 years later, he was put to death. A fierce warrior to the end, he walked voluntarily to the pyre. As the flames grew beneath him, he prayed, remaining God's faithful knight until his final breath. But how did the Templars go from heroes to heretics within a few short years? Following the Crusades, the Knights Templar were widely respected, receiving huge donations of money and land to fund their holy battles. This vast wealth allowed them to act as some of the first bankers in the world. The Knights Templar even influenced royalty, giving King Philip IV a large 500,000 livre loan for his daughter's dowry. But the king was growing increasingly concerned about the power the Templars wielded. They only answered to the Pope, preventing the king from taxing their fortunes. Worse, their allegiance to the Church meant that the king had no control over the Templars. The king knew he needed to find a way to eliminate the threat the Templars posed to his leadership. So, he was thrilled when he found a group of former Templars who were accusing the Knights of heresy. They claimed they had been forced to spit on the cross and worship false idols. In reality, the Knights were bitter after being kicked out of the order and were trying to discredit the organization. On October 13th, 1307, the king ordered mass arrests of all the Templars in France, charging them with heresy. There was just one problem. Philip IV hadn't told Pope Clement V about this plan. At first, the Pope was angry at the monarch's deception, but he soon caved to royal pressure and in November 1307 betrayed the Templars by asking Christian leaders to seize the Templars' wealth and land. But arresting the Knights Templar wasn't enough. King Philip wanted to destroy the order. He gave his royal agents permission to torture the knights. Soon, the pain was too much to bear. Even strong-willed members like de Molay gave in, providing a confession of heresy. But the Pope wasn't happy. He suspected the king had been using torture to gain false confessions and wanted to conduct his own trials. Knowing that the Pope could undo his devious plans, the king requested that Archbishop Philippe de Marigny be put in charge of the trials. The Pope agreed. This would seal the Templars' fate. De Marigny was more than happy to do Philip's bidding for him. 2 days after the Archbishop was appointed, 54 Templars were burned at the stake. By 1314, the trial of the Knights Templar came to an end, with the public execution of Jacques de Molay. In total, more than 100 knights had been burned at the stake. Eventually, the Pope officially ended the organization. Any remaining Templars were forced into exile.